are correct, between 33 and 49% of people in this room will have at some stage struggled with poor mental health, particularly post-pandemic.
We'll look after the church. We are his sheep. Sharing counters the isolation and individualism I was talking about earlier.
It's wonderful to hear bishops even talk about their struggles with being mentally fit for the job. It's great to know that, like, even the Archbishop of Canterbury can suffer from periods of darkness and difficulty.
We met with people who were in their own home, but as isolated, more isolated than ones that were in residential homes, even though they didn't want to be there. You know, and it really brought home that connecting from young to old. Now, this initially was really for the old, those that their families couldn't visit. But we realised our kids were getting far more out of this than the adults were.
We got the money from the MindMatters grant. We put a programme together that we called Kiltiernan All Minds Matter and called it CAM for short. And we did a few different projects within this. We did some volunteer and teacher appreciation, and that included a dinner for all of our volunteers that give their time and energy into the Gathering Grounds, which is our outreach project in Kiltiernan. It's an outreach cafe run by some staff and volunteers in the community. So we did an appreciation dinner where we focused on filling the buckets of the volunteers, who then therefore go and fill everybody's buckets that come to the cafe.
People said one of the difficulties is that people are reluctant to speak about mental health at all, even if it's only not feeling great. Every so often, even that's looked upon as being some kind of a moral weakness in places. So to have people who are prepared to talk about that, right up to the Archbishop of Canterbury talking about occasionally having felt suicidal. So that business of helping to remove the stigma of talking about your mental well-being was very, very refreshing.
Well, the first thing is that it's happening, and it has brought people, as it were, out of the shadows. And I've heard people say things about themselves, about their communities, about their churches, and about other people that I hadn't heard them say before. So from that perspective, to begin with, it's got to be good. The other thing is there's energy in it, because people want new and fresh things to happen. Now, I think it was really significant that we had the Archbishop of Canterbury with us. We probably could have done it without him, but that's not the point. But to have his interest in solidarity and his suggestion that there were various action points that people could take, I think it's a really good place to start.
Well, the Church of Ireland is at least 50% female, and those females are eventually going to get to menopause, and I'm well beyond it at this point. And menopause isn't an illness, it's a natural thing that happens to the body, but it has symptoms. And it has been so hidden for so long, where nobody has talked about it, that even having a little project called a Menopause Cafe, where people come and talk about their symptoms, and even if they say, aren't those night sweats awful, it's talking about it, it's just lifting the lid and saying, this shouldn't be in a dark place, this is natural. In the same way as we started to talk about childbirth and breastfeeding, and these are things that happen to women, and that's okay.
Our indebtedness will always be to our funder for this project. It would never have happened without Benefact Trust.